The sanctification of Saint Joseph. The theologians weigh in. Was Saint Joseph sanctified in the womb? With this question, one must tread lightly. It is believed by the Catholic Church that Adam and Eve were created without sin, and that the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of the Divine Word, was conceived immaculately. It is not, however, the belief of the Catholic Church that Saint Joseph or any other saint was conceived free from the stain of original sin. It is here that the distinction be made between being immaculately conceived and being sanctified in the womb post-conception. Scripture informs that among those sanctified in the womb were the prophet Jeremiah and Saint John the Baptist. The well-respected theologians Jean Gerson, Bernardine de Bustis, Isidore Isolano, Saint Francis de Sales, Saint Alphonsus de Liguori, Cornelius a Lapide, and Saint John Henry Newman, to name a few, believed this sanctification also applied to Saint Joseph. Not only that, they are also convinced that Saint Joseph was confirmed in grace, meaning that he did not sin throughout the course of his life. Three of the illustrious theologians will be quoted, along with two church-approved mystics. In a letter dated the 17th of August, 1413, Gerson states, "Hence it is probable that Joseph himself was consecrated, sanctified in his mother's womb, which kept him free from all enticing desires." On the 8th of September, 1416, at the Council of Constance, Gerson continues, "Let us consider that, according to the prerogatives which belong to Saint Joseph, it is well to believe religiously that he was sanctified or consecrated in the womb of his mother, in the same way as Saint John the Baptist and Jeremiah. Joseph was sanctified in the womb after his conception by the baptism of the Spirit, like John the Baptist and many others. Thus it is contained in the Jerusalemite office for the saint." Isidore of Isolano tells us, "The sanctification of this nature in the womb is either accorded on account of the future exalted dignity of the sanctified, or is ordained with a special relationship to the Saint of Saints, Jesus Christ." Now, both causes imminently existed in Saint Joseph, who was to be perfectly just, and was ordained, above all men, to be nearest to the Saint of Saints, Jesus. If Jeremiah was sanctified before his birth, because he was to prophesy expressly of Jesus, and the Baptist also because he was to point him out, present among men, who can suppose that Joseph, on account of the close knowledge he had of Jesus above all others, Mary alone excepted, and his paternal education of him, was not also similarly privileged? If God was pleased thus to sanctify his servants, how much more his putative Father, in order that he might be so reputed and be worthy of the name. Saint Alphonsus de Liguori writes, "When God destines anyone for a particular office, he gives him the graces that fit him for it. Among those granted, Joseph had three which were special to him. Firstly, that he was sanctified in his mother's womb, as were Jeremiah and Saint John the Baptist. Secondly, that he was at the same time confirmed in grace. And thirdly, that he was always exempt from the inclinations of concupiscence." Next, a quote from Saint John Henry Newman. "He is holy Joseph because, according to the opinion of a great number of doctors, he, as well as Saint John the Baptist, was sanctified even before he was born. He is holy Joseph because his office of being spouse and protector of Mary specially demanded sanctity. He is holy Joseph because no other saint but he lived in such and so long intimacy and familiarity with the source of all holiness, Jesus, God incarnate, and Mary, the holiest of creatures." Lastly, a few quotes from the mystics Venerable Maria de Agreda and Servant of God Madre Cecilia Baj. Maria de Agreda tells us, "Joseph was to be a miracle of holiness. This marvelous holiness commenced with the formation of his body in the womb of his mother. In this, the providence of God himself took part. He was sanctified in the womb of his mother 7 months after his conception, and the leaven of sin was destroyed in him for the whole course of his life, never having felt any impure or disorderly movement. However, he did not receive the use of his reason together with this first sanctification, which consisted principally in justification from original sin. Madre Cecilia tells us, Joseph was in the grace and friendship of God, having been previously freed from the stain of original sin. His soul's growth was derived from the graces he obtained from the divine bounty and generosity. God fashioned him according to his own heart and spirit, in order to eventually make him a worthy bridegroom for the Mother of the Divine Word. Read more about the life and hidden mysteries of Saint Joseph in The Book of Joseph, available at blessedjoseph.com.